Brett, as the CFLPA rep, were you guys surprised by the rule changes yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I think it caught a lot of people pretty off guard. Definitely some big changes, and kind of see where it goes from here.
Kind of thoughts on the fact? It didn't seem like a lot of players were involved in discussions or anything like that.
No, I don't think, Stu's has a job he gets paid for, the Board of Governors, and this isn't really something that has to be approved by the players. I think maybe a lot of guys think it would have probably been nice as 25% of the revenue gross kind of partners there to kind of know a little more, but at the end of the day, they don't have to. They made the decision to make the changes they wanted, and for us, especially as the vice president, we're worried about player safety, growing revenue, and if this does that, there's not much we can really complain about.
It's all fresh. Have you guys had meetings about the rules yet as a PA and what this could mean, or no? Like I said, it just happened, so.
Yeah, we had a brief one with the executive, but we have two big ones tonight where we're kind of going to talk more to the player reps across the board, have an executive meeting after, and kind of go over everything.
Kind of a blanket statement, but what are your thoughts on the overall changes that are being made?
Yeah, like as a Canadian kid watching the game and everything, I think a lot of the points that are out there is, from the hashes moving in, and now people feel like this is a lot closer to getting to the NFL. I'm kind of in the middle. I think some of the rules are actually great. We probably were first place last year with the bye week if we didn't lose off a missed field goal, and I'm not like a pro Rouge, but I think it's a unique, cool rule, and maybe, editing some stuff in the last 3 minutes might have been a good change as well, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what I think. I was kind of middle ground and everything. I thought there was some really good stuff that made sense and some other things that maybe you thought you'd keep more Canadian and keep in the game, but at the end of the day, you gotta let them do their job, and if it plays out and grows revenue and maybe have a big TV deal in their pocket or something we don't know about in the States that was behind this, who knows? So it's hard to really give too much of an opinion yet, but definitely big changes.
Obviously the conference moving back to the back of the end zone would change special teams.
Big time.
Does it change your job though?
I think they're gonna kind of prorate at this point, so it would still be 33 yards, so 15 plus 10, probably snap at the 10 kick, and it would still be 33 yards. Kind of educated guess, and I'd assume they'd move kickoffs back in 27 and still keep it the 70 yards, but kind of time will tell. For me, I think honestly maybe it might help. You're gonna have to kick longer field goals, getting down to the red zone, the 20 yards plus the 15, you're looking at 35, it's a 43, so you're going to have to get down inside the teams like 30, 35 to kick some pretty long ones, and maybe it could help, but at the end of the day, worry about that in the future. I just have to worry about making more kicks. Obviously, it hasn't been my best season this year.
When did you start field goal kicking? How young were you?
I was 15 turning 16. I was in grade 10, and that was the first time I ever tried football, and honestly I didn't have any gear, I didn't know any of the rules, I didn't really know much about the game. I always played other sports and hockey and stuff, and that's when I kind of started with it and playing receiver and going to St. Mary's as a receiver and then switching back to kicking. It's been a lot of luck and a lot of help along the way.
How do you think this is going to affect high school kickers? They're adding automatic 15, like you get down to the 12, it's a 30-some yarder all of a sudden for these high school kids.
That's some of the first questions I had right away was not only the grassroots and always trying to grow the game and, Canadian kids. I mentioned right away, no one's ever going to play the CFL game until they get to the CFL now. So there's no one in Canada, there's no one in the States, there's no one in Europe that's going to ever play this game until they get to this league and this set of rules. And then also finding out, I guess they did give them more time till 27, but the first thing I asked was like, what is Calgary or McGill or BC, what are they going to do? Maybe it kind of sucks because potentially, the Rams might never play in here again, and things like that. So kind of sucks to those things, but at the end of the day, I guess maybe they could change, but I don't see how you just change every field in Canada. It's a lot of taxpayer money or other money that, even in my hometown, they finally got the field, the new track and stuff just done after 6-7 years of trying to get it done, and you put it in, and now it's a completely different set of rules at the pro level. So it's a little different, but it's like I said, that's all above my pay grade.
Brett, there obviously has to be a collaboration and partnership between the players and the league. Has that partnership, that collaboration changed at all with not having the conversation prior to announcing the rule changes?
Honestly, as much as we want it to be there, and I got to be a little careful with my words here, I don't think ever it's truly been as much as out there publicly. With the revenue sharing, it's still difficult to get. You still have to go to a lot of mediations. You still have to press them on everything to try to get your 25% and so on. And for now, I'm sure that's going to be the first thing that's brought up in the new CBA and going forward. And if you're truly a partner, it's like I said, they did not have to consult us. At the end of the day, this is their change and we didn't have a say, but you'd think if you were in business with anyone, especially players in the product, that there'd be a little more of a heads up. Or even just like I said, even if they did some surveys, got some feedback and didn't even listen to us, at least the guys got to put some opinions out and maybe had some ideas that they didn't think of to maybe potentially change things or edit it a little that could be better. But yeah, I can understand why a lot of guys are upset, and for me it's just more trying to represent all the guys. It doesn't really care or matter what my opinion is. It's more, player safety, growing revenues, and if they do this, it's hard to complain.
Just this last stretch here, you guys obviously competing for first place in the West. How important is this stretch to play some of your best football of the season?
Oh, very important. As a team and personally, especially when the weather changes in Canada, I feel like this is a time where it's tougher to kick longer field goals, tougher for the operation to work. You could get into some snow games, some cold games, some weather that guys that haven't been in before, and this is when you can kind of step up, maybe show your worth, kind of survive a bit of the season myself and try to be there and trustworthy for the guys and maybe go on a run like we plan on doing. So definitely trying to work every day to keep putting my best foot forward, and I know the team's doing that as well, and everyone kind of has each other's back, but these next few games very important to try to keep the little lead that we have on the other teams right now.